of life without you, and that's not an option for me. I'm just devastated at how he feels. It seems like he's hopeless. Nothing has ever made him say or consider us being apart. I didn't think it was this bad. I'm just worried at this point.
So hello everyone once again and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chinyere of Julius Taglam. If it's your first time here with me, thank you so much for being here. And if you're already subscribed to my wonderful channel, you are awesomely welcome. How are you all doing? All right, so today I want to talk about the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta duo of what's their name again? Of Mendecees and Yandy. Okay. I'll ask you to listen, okay, and then we can talk.
You know, all the stuff that we've been beefing about, and you thinking that I'm trying to be too independent, and Rashida was talking to me how it got to a point in her relationship with Kirk where she was trying to just do everything and be all that she needed to be for everything else, but not for her relationship. And she said they went through a very dark place, and I just don't want that for us.
Man, listen, I don't know what to say, man. I feel that we are in a dark place. It's been going on for a while now. If this is going to be, then, you know, you got to take this serious. If it's not, then you got to let it go.
Do you feel you guys are at the point where you may let go?
Yeah.
Is the commitment keeping you more than the love right now?
Absolutely, 1000%. This it's supposed to be forever, but it don't have to be forever.
Well, I feel like letting it go is not an option. The thought of life without you, and that's not an option for me. I'm just devastated at how he feels. It seems like he's hopeless. Nothing has ever made him say or consider us being apart. I didn't think it was this bad. I'm just worried at this point.
When you get back, there's things we got to work on, you know? So, you got to be willing to put the work in. So, you know, I'm not a big communicator, but I be trying. God knows I be trying.
Okay. All right, I love you.
I love you too.
Give my babies a kiss, please.
All right.
All right, so from what I know, Yandy and has been on this Love and Hip Hop Atlanta for the longest time, you know. And Mendecees at the time was in jail and he got out. I mean, the show saw him get out of jail. And then, you know, I mean, this is 2024, they're still there. And he says, from what he says that he says Mendecees tells Yandy his commit to her is keeping him in the marriage and not love. Another headline says Mendecees feels like a single parent, says he and Yandy are losing each other. You need to slow the F down. All right. So if you know, I'm not I don't know. I stopped being a fan of reality TV for the longest time because I just felt that the shows were just serving violence and ratchetness and a lot of uncouth behavior. I recall watching it at the time when Cardi B just got on, and I think of all the reality stars, I think Cardi B has been the smartest, because she sold herself. She used it for what she wanted to use it for, and she bounced. And that's my question to Yandy, because from the get-go, Mendecees has always come off as this person who is very quiet. I mean, again, we're all different people in the world. And when you're with someone, it's important to you to be able to cue into the person that you're with and know and, be able to, where they would be okay to be in and where they won't be okay to be in, So if you have a husband who is not interested in being in the public eye, and then he's telling you, I don't want to be in the public eye, and you're just hearing him speak, you're not listening, then, sooner rather than later, it's going to start falling apart. And I say this to say is because of what she said. She said she doesn't see herself without Mendecees, and she doesn't see her life without him. I have a question though for Yandy. Again, what is the purpose of you being on hip hop, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta till now? Again, I have understood that the use and the purpose of reality TV is for you to garner some sort of influence and notoriety, and probably launch a business, get people talking about this thing that you do, and it's a way to push yourself out there. And up until now, and I recall in these in the Love and Hip Hop show, Yandy talked about being a producer, being this and that and that and that. And I'm asking, okay, so what are we actually launching you, or what is Love and Hip Hop Atlanta launching you into? Because your husband is calling and crying to you for help. Your husband is saying to you that I feel alone. Your husband is saying that I need you. Your husband is saying, let's wrap and live our lives, okay, as a family, as a real family. And that's what I hear. Reality TV is reality TV. And we have all come to understand that most times, most of the shenanigans that play out on reality TV, it's just, many of them actually created by the producers to create drama. A very good example is the reality TV, the Real Housewives of Lagos. But again, I'm Nigerian. And so that one, we could actually see very quickly. Okay. And it was easy to tell what the producers doctored and what the producers did not. Okay. I mean, because we are Nigerians, we are 007 in our own rights. So, that kind of thing. And we all know that most of these producers are messy, and then they try to involve that messy into the lives of the people that they are with. And it's all for the story, But I think while in the pursuit of career and being a career, whatever it is Yandy is looking towards, I think it's also important that we are also listening to your spouse, listening to what he's saying, you're actually taking time. In my opinion, okay, he says he's the one, he feels like a single parent, and this could play out for him in so many ways. Maybe he also wants to have time with his friends. Maybe he also wants to, do something for himself. But for a lot of reasons, maybe because he's not as busy as you are, and, he can't do it because the kids are there. He has to get involved, that kind of a thing, But it's also important to think about the balance. That's what I'm trying to say in all of this. The balance is key. When you see something that is, that is pulling heavily on something you hold so dear to, something has to give. Okay. And that's what he's telling you here, Yandy. He's telling you something has got to give. He's telling you that I need you. He's telling you, if you cannot give me you, then, that's what he's saying. And he's not saying he doesn't love you. He's saying he's committed to you and that marriage. And I saw a lot of comments where people were saying, I don't think he ever loved her. Listen, if you are married, you will always know that there is a point when the butterflies in the stomach die. I will never forget when I remember telling a friend of mine at the time and said, I told my husband, I said, hey, that's the butterflies, they are still there. But when the butterfly died, and truly the butterflies, they died. Not like, and why I'm saying is because that period the butterflies died, that period was trying. When I mean it was a trying period, it was trying. But you see, you have to understand that in every marriage, again, it's a decision by two people that have said they want to remain together. They want to be together. And, and again, it's not as though the butterflies don't come back once in a while. It's not as if the love, but when you remember, it's all about reminiscing. It's all about, those times that you share together. It's all about those important, those periods that are very important. Those are the things that keep the butterfly, that make the butterflies, rise up, but everything clears, the haze goes away, you are brought back to earth pretty quickly, because when you're dealing with kids, when you're dealing with the home, when you're dealing with finances, when you're dealing with tragedy, you name it. At that point, there are so many things that clear out in your brain, as in the fog clears. But what enables the two of you to stay and say, I'm committed, we are here? It's because of how you as a unit, because again, when situations happen in the lives of couples, you're not addressing them as two people. You're addressing it as a unit. And so most times what you remember is the things that you did and how you were able to surmount and surpass as this one unit. Okay, I remember I told you guys a story about how my husband paid off the rest of my school, my MBA fees, when when mine was, I had depleted mine. You see, so it's what happens for both of you as a unit. That's what is important. It's not the things that are happening when all the going is always fresh and good. No, it's the things. It's actually the parts no one sees, the tears, the blood, the sweat. That's the period that you now ask yourself and you say, okay, I have so much to love and so much to appreciate this person for. That's the key. So Yandy, I would say this, and I'm going to say this also to any other couples out there, or, who feels this type of way that Mendecees is feeling. And, he was quite clear, and he said, and, it just goes to tell you the kind of person that he is. You get an inkling of the kind of individual he is. He said, I'm not good at communicating. And I've said this before. Most men don't know how to. And he's actually, saying that. And, at that point, as the woman, there are things that you now do to step in. And again, it cannot happen in front of the cameras, because when the camera comes up, he will clamp up again. He's not going to speak, because again, you are the person he can pour his heart to. If he can't pour his heart to you, he's going to clamp up. He wouldn't say anything again. And I heard her talking about Rashida. Third party. I'm going to let me draw our ears. Remove third parties in your marriage. Remove third parties. I said it before in the video when I talked about acrimony. Do not allow third parties in your home. One of the things, and I'm saying this as a categorical statement. You will not ask a single woman You can't ask a single person questions about things that are happening. You can't go and seek advice or counsel from someone who's single. You can't do that. Because they have no clue, and they have no inkling, and they have no experience about what they're talking. Because again, I will repeat it, every marriage has its DNA. How I marry my husband and how my husband marries me is not the same way Bosse's husband marries her or how Bosse marries her husband. It's not the same way Nkechi's husband is marrying her and how Nkechi is marrying her husband. Be very, very careful. I heard her talking about Rashida. Hey God. I heard her talking about Rashida. My dear, and I will say this. If you have to talk to someone, please find a therapist, a marriage counselor. This is what I don't personally, I don't encourage people, well, in my part of the world anyway, and I'm saying it because in my part of the world, usually I'm Catholic. In the Catholic Church, you go through marriage counseling with, trained counselors, and then you are able to do marriage counseling for couples that want to get married. In my opinion, if you are having issues in your home, find a therapist. Find a licensed therapist. Not find a licensed therapist. I beg you. I am serious. I mean, because have we? I don't even want to go for that. Just be careful, guys. Just be careful. Be careful, Yandy. And take time and listen to what Mendecees is trying to tell you. And on this note, guys, do not fail to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.